Member for New Maryland Sunbury.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I first want to acknowledge the snow fighters that brave the cold and the terrible conditions on behalf of all of us in this province. We all certainly appreciate it, and I know the minister shares that. But I want to talk, Mr. Speaker, about staffing levels and equipment levels in the various depots in the province. CBC was able to obtain documents on the 2015 winter season about drivers and snow fighters having to work long 20-hour, 16-hour, 18-hour shifts back to back to back for days on end. So I'm wondering if the minister could stand today and tell us what he has done to curb those issues and how he staffs those sheds. Does he use some sort of formula or format to do that?
Honourable Minister of Department of Supply and Transportation and Infrastructure. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I thank the member opposite for the question, a very important question. At DTI, we take the safety of our employees, the safety of the traveling public and New Brunswickers extremely serious. It's our #1 priority. And I can tell you the staffing arrangements at the garages are very similar to when the changes that were made under the former Conservative government. That's the procedures that we're following, the changes that were made to the winter maintenance program under the previous Conservative government. Staff work extremely hard. There's procedures that are followed by the districts and the district engineers. Follow those procedures to ensure the safety of our employees, and we're very proud of the work that our employees do. And I'll be making a minister's statement here very shortly in the House to speak of some of the very great things that our men and women at DTI do each and every day to ensure the safety of New Brunswickers, and will continue to work with our employees.
Member for New Maryland Sunbury.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I can appreciate the fact that the minister says that they follow those staffing levels, but I'm hearing from around the province from all different areas, from people that don't want to speak publicly because they don't want to spotlight Sean on them. Mr. Speaker, and it's easy to say that the levels are being followed, but there's another way for the minister to go about proving it, and it's to put the documents and those numbers out on the table for everybody to see. Mr. Speaker, I'm hearing from a lot of different areas where some maintenance depots are down to 1 grader. Some maintenance depots are short 2 or 3 employees because they haven't been filled and they haven't been posted. Those positions are left empty. So, Mr. Speaker, what this does is it leaves their fellow co-workers in a dangerous situation. It leaves the public at large in a dangerous situation. So I wonder right now if the minister is aware of any of those deficiencies in different sheds with equipment and manpower, and how he's going to correct it.
Time member. Honourable Minister responsible for Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. Excuse me again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, I'm not sure what the intent of the member opposite is. I know I've seen correspondence from him. He's had conversations with me when the previous Minister of DTI made a decision that we would tender out winter maintenance and make sure that everybody had a fair opportunity for equipment rentals around our province. I know he approached me after I became Minister and said, you got to get rid of that tendering process. I've seen recent emails that he sent to the local engineer asking to hire certain people, and when I checked the name of the people that he want hired, I checked the Tory donation list and see that person contributed greatly to their party. Mr. Speaker, we're not about politics here. We're about working with our department. We're about working and doing things very fairly in the Department of Transportation Infrastructure. We've taken the politics out of that. I know he wants to bring it back. I'm not sure that's the direction that his new leader wants. We know that his new leader wants to cut everything, and you know, all the great investments that we're making as a government to grow our economy, but we're not following that direction, and I'm certainly not going to follow his direction.